not, for any reason, ever share your private keys, passphrases, passwords, or click suspicious links. Everyone all the time is trying to steal your stuff, so go slow and be careful. There's no point making all this money just to give it to a thief.
All right, let me see. Let me click all the appropriate buttons. Hello. Go down to that. Let me make that more quiet. I like to have a little background noise, but we don't want to be like overwhelmed. Okay, let's do some real quick housekeeping. And then we'll get to your questions. We'll talk about data today. We are gonna we have an announcement. So as you guys may or may not know, this is the official site for nodes, for Hypercycle node licenses. And we have standardized the pricing, and it is very easy and simple, and everybody gets to participate. No secret groups, no special interests, no backhanded deals, no handshakes, back rubs, none of that bull stuff. Everybody gets to do what they want to do. And it's easy. You can go to Node Market. So there's two ways to do it. You can just go to Nick Black Next. You just go up to the store. Watch it. Like the little shop area. Bloop. Ooh. Look how easy it is. Yep. So easy. So all that's been standardized. Done. All right. Okay, so that's easy. So that's there this way. You can also go to Node Market. On Node Market. And again, here soon, there will be a full OTC for all Singularity Net assets, meaning over-the-counter exchange where you can post transactions that you want to occur off of centralized exchanges, perhaps due to liquidity or other issues. So you will be able to say, oh, I want to sell 168,000 Cogito tokens because that project has S the bed and hasn't really done it for me. Or I would like to purchase 524,288 Hypercycle tokens for X amount because I want to put all my currency units into a master node. I want to marry that up and I want to participate in tilling and eventually compute. Or whatever. Maybe you want to take one for the other. Oh, I want to switch my Rejuve tokens for Twin Protocol when they launch, or whatever. You get it. It'll be a place where you can post offers, take offers, do all that. So that's being built. You will also be able to, there'll be nodes in states of production, meaning you have a node, you married it to you married the tokens to the node, and perhaps it's over here, it's over there, it's tilling, it's doing whatever. Maybe you have a hyper AI box and you're tilling, or you have your own computer rig or hardware setup and you're doing tilling and compute. Well, that node has more value. Perhaps it's almost about to split. Maybe we're 6 or 8 months from now, or 12 months, and that node is about to split. Well, obviously that's worth more than just a node, a brand new node that doesn't have any ranking or reputation, no history of uptime, liveness, compute, right? So that's going to be different value. So you can buy or sell or list or peruse the available nodes that other people have or that you might list in the various states of their life cycle. It's like going and buying or selling a business. So we'll have a full system where you can look at them, compare them to other ones. You'll look at their rank, their production. We'll eventually have currency unit metrics where you can get a rough estimate of what those nodes are producing in real time. You might think, oh, maybe with my hardware, I could do more. These nodes are about to split pretty soon, whatever. Anyway, there'll be a full node secondary market for nodes in various states of production. There will be the OTC. And then if you want to just buy brand new node licenses, you just click buy. And guess what? Guess where we are? Woohoo! Right back here. So we're making this stuff easy because it should be easy. So that's what's going on there. Okay, there's the housekeeping there. All right. You can get there in a variety of ways. Okay, we will make an announcement tomorrow morning. Brandon and I will, regarding a cool promotional thing that we're going to do in the I don't even want to give it away. There's a cool promotional thing coming, and we'll announce it tomorrow morning, and it has to do with hypercycle node licenses. We'll just say that. That's it. It's an announcement of an announcement because crypto. All right. We're going to talk about data today. That's right. Data. But I do have one quick news article I wanted to get to because it's pretty cool. So I guess technically this is a quick look at markets, but really it's a market update on one very specific thing. I guess we need crypto news bumper, but anyway, this will have to suffice. Yes, Deutsche Bank, our favorite, almost always insolvent bank. Deutsche Bank to offer crypto custody with Swiss fintech Taurus. The bank will establish digital asset custody and tokenization services in a sign that institutional interest is building. Well, yeah, that seems pretty obvious. I mean, if you guys don't get it now, the fix is obviously in, right? Like, we all get it. We know where this is going. So Taurus, it's a swish. It's a fintech firm for enterprise-grade crypto services. They announced in an agreement with Deutsche Bank to establish digital asset custody. And remember, the SEC kept saying custody was a problem. They throw up every possible thing they can as a problem for why there can't be a spot Bitcoin ETF, even though there's already a cash settled one, which is correctly both arbitrary and capricious of the SEC, but whatever. So alongside crypto custody, Deutsche Bank will also use Taurus's infrastructure to offer tokenization services for its customers. You say, well, what would that mean? It'll mean whatever the hell they think they can legally get away with. We look forward, this is them. Hold on. We look forward to supporting the bank in launching digital assets in DLT-based products. Does that sound like the kind of maniacal psychopath that probably wrote this? This was from the managing partner and co-founder of Taurus. We believe the tokenized economy will continue to develop. That's the head of securities for Deutsche Bank. He's definitely like a criminal mastermind guy. He added, we expect to see more and more traditional assets and cash payments eventually coming on-chain. Safiro will be quite pleased. He didn't say that last part, and he might have thought it. As the digital asset space is expected to encompass trillions of dollars of assets, it's bound to be seen as one of the priorities for investors and corporations alike. As such, custodians must start adapting to support their clients. Let's see. At the time, the seemingly muted enthusiasm for the crypto space, related products, and across that market, this announcement indicates that behind the scenes, institutions are intent on the asset class. Listen, institutions are intent on making money, and they will step on your dead grandmother, walking over like a bunch of orphans on fire to pick your wallet out of your cold, dead pocket. These dudes don't give a shit about you, me, or anyone else. They were all panning digital anything, distributed anything up until it made sense to their pocketbook. And once they realized this isn't going away, there's no genie back in the bottle. Oh no, we think digital assets are awesome. We love them. We want to make it easier for our clients to buy. Bullshit. Anyway, it does show you that institutional interest, it's still here. So there we go. Yay. And basically, I just want to show you guys that the effect is that it's not a lot, but at least Bitcoin has turned its 7-day depression into something marginally green. Ethereum is performing okay. I thought Matic would be getting a bigger boost. They're rolling out their Matic, their new 2.0, which is a 3-tiered system, which is going to introduce a new token, which is the whole token, which is their gas token. So this is going to look more similar to like what was done. There's some other protocols that had a gas token. Many of them do. VeChain's one. There's VeChain and VeChain Thor. Now I'm not comparing VeChain to Matic, certainly. But this is part of Matic's bid to not get, I think, left behind by optimism. Anyway, there is that. We'll go into more detail tomorrow when we talk markets, things like that for the Digital Investor Show, where we do that. This is not so much about that. Price-wise, everything seems to be reacting kind of in kind. Hypercycle slightly outperforming the market. Flow outperforming, although I can't imagine why. We're going to talk about data today, and as we talk about data, I want you guys, and again, I'm going to go through your Q&As, but as we talk about data, in the back of your mind, you should be thinking, okay, big data, Filecoin, yes. Ocean Protocol, yes. Arweave, yes. There are some other big data plays. They're not as straightforward, in my opinion. They don't maybe make as much sense from an investment perspective. But again, I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. Any of these douchebag gurus that tell you that they do. They do not. And most of them don't even invest. That's another thing. Almost everyone you listen to, this is one of the things that really grinds my gears, is most of the people in the crypto space. This is a Deutsche Telekom thing. Most of the people in the crypto space that are telling you what to do, when to do it, and all this, and 5 tokens for $5 million, and that bullshit. None of those dudes even own crypto. Matter of fact, most of them have it in their agreements so they can't get sued later that they don't own any. Remember Raoul Pal when he was going out there telling everybody Bitcoin's going to a gazillion, Ethereum to 20? He doesn't even own any Bitcoin. He got called on the carpet for that. Hey, Raoul, why are you telling everyone on Real Vision to go buy Bitcoin when you don't own any? What are you talking about? No, that's bad. That's Australian. He also, oh man, you want something good? Go look up the video of Raoul Pal talking about how badass Luna was while Luna was crashing and UST, since he's such a genius money manager. And then he started deleting tweets. Oh, I never said that. I never thought Luna and UST was going to be good. Right. Go tell your 3,000 or 30,000 rubes that follow you on Real Vision that, because they watched you for months pump that thing, you dumbass. Man, most of these dudes have zero exposure, and they'll be very happy to tell you what to do with your money. They'll be quite happy. It's embarrassing. Anyway, it is what it is. That's crypto. Them's the cryptos. All right. I don't have days lined up. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to look and see if there's any obvious questions in here that I can knock out. Where are the 1 to 7? Dale, that's difficult for us to mess with right now. We're getting that set up. We went by where the majority of the sales were first. So we're listing. We will have, I think, by later today, a 2-pack up. So you can just get 2 packs. But in my opinion, the 8 makes the most sense for most people. And this is fixed pricing. Pricing's not going to go up and down. There's no bull crappery there. So I would tell people, don't get what you want, get what you need. There's a song to that effect, right? You can't always. Okay. All right. Good there. Let me see. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody's stuff. Again, hello. We got 110 people. Is there any way you guys could throw likes up there? You notice there ain't no commercials, bro? I don't do commercials. We don't take, man, you want to see my inbox? How many scummy things people say, hey, talk about our token. Talk about crap coin. Talk about douchebag coin. Talk about baby got back coin. There's those don't exist. Well, they probably do exist. Those are made up examples, not real ones. Don't go buy baby got back coin. And don't anybody here go launch baby got back coin. And if you do launch it, don't send me any to my MetaMask and make it look like I'm a part of baby got back coin. Baby got back coin. BBC. BGBC. BGBC. Anyway, all right. Let's do some brain work. Let's talk about data. In this case, let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah, I know we should have like 110 likes, bro. Good. Then we're friends. Cobriana and I are friends. No one else. You buy nodes. When will you be rich? Well, Cisco, in life, if we have good friends, we're rich. Unfortunately, friends don't pay the bills unless you have my friends. And if you have my friends, apparently their friends do pay the bills. You can work that in reverse if you'd like. Nick, if I put a license in the pool without my tokens, if someone then pools their tokens, how would it affect the value of the node? So the way it works is if you put, and again, this isn't rolled out, and I'm making a few loose assumptions based on what they're going to do at HyperPG or HyperPool. But the way I understand it is if you pledge your licenses, because you can put those to work without tokens, or you pledge the tokens because you can put those together, they're going to do all the marriages. Okay. And that's going to be for a time duration. So if I pledge, this is just like the repo market. For those of you that understand repo, this is a repo market. That's why it seems so kind of common sense to me. I guess anyway, so you pledge whatever part is missing. They're going to glue these things all together, and you're going to pledge for a certain amount of time. So it may be 18 months, it may be 12 months, it may be 24 months, and you're going to pledge your asset, and you're going to get a percent of either what they produce, like with Hyperpool, of their total production. You're going to get a piece of that, some percentage. Or if you pledge to HyperPG, you're going to get a fixed percentage return, and they're going to say, we guarantee this over the next time duration, 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, whatever that is. If you marry them together, bink, 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 coins into the nodes, they are more valuable. And that's going to be a different discussion, and that will carry a different return. So it's more valuable if you melt them together. Just keep that in mind. But yes, you can do one or the other, and they'll tell you you're not going to just put your tokens in and hope for the best, right? Either in HyperPG, they're going to guarantee you a return, or with HyperPool, you're going to get a guaranteed split of all the money it generates. So hopefully that makes sense. Whew, nailed it, I think. And again, a lot of this is subject to what can and can't be done via code, what can and can't be done as they roll out. Obviously, in the spring of 2024, as we now know, where likely compute would start, it's not going to be a full flourishing ecosystem. That's going to be day one. Then they're going to onboard their clients to purchasing compute services, AI to AI. Check. And as they're communicating, all those AI workloads are going to be distributed among the reputable nodes, your little data centers that are spread out all over the world. And they're going to be processing communication. And that's the compute side of tilling and compute. That's what builds the reputation. It's going to be earning an income, and that income will be divided among the human creatures, which is us. Yay. The math ain't matching. 6 like 60. I know, man. God. They hate me. Man, I'd rather see 120 thumbs down than like 17 likes. It's just a simple thing. I just want the dopamine. Matter of fact, I want the pre-dopamine. You guys know that's how it works, right? The dopamine's actually first. It's the anticipation of the reward. Doesn't matter. Okay. Let me make sure I got everybody's stuff, and let's talk about data, and then let's let you guys get on with your fun stuff. Yeah. Some people are watching via digital investor site. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Well, there you go. All right. Let's get rid of, we don't need to talk about Deutsche Bank, do we? We need to go to classroom. In the classroom, we're talking about data. We are talking about the data. So in that, let's go ahead and make a couple little jumps.
Hello. You're late.
You're bad at math, but I'm giving you an A+ in confidence.
Just doing what I gotta do.
Extra credit.
It never gets old. Okay. We're going to talk about the role of series data. And I basically need to explain to you what this is and why I think it's important. So there's a few things that have led to some of the assumptions I've made about where the space is going. And I want people, first of all, asking what their level of risk tolerance is before they approach any investment. Once they determine that, there's no more whatting. It should be whying. You should be asking, why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Why are you doing this? The why is much more important than the what. People are like, what should I buy? I had to cut ties with a client that I was doing a solid to, and I made the dude like $200,000 in cash. Sorry, I shouldn't say dude. I should say person with his own or her own pronoun choices. I made him 200 racks. I charged him 0. I gave him a hookup. Don't do anyone any kindness. I've determined that when you hook people up, when you do people a solid, they tend to forget that. So after a while, I realized that this individual was asking, what do I buy? What do I do? What do I do? Mother effer, why don't you do some effing research and learn? Quit being so goddamn lazy with your money and learn a little bit about this so that you're not reliant on other people. I realize that's the greater lesson, is everybody here needs to make sure that they're not asking what I should do, and they're asking why I should do, and asking yourself too. No one can tell you what to do. They're not going to always be there around you to save you and protect you and help you. So you need to be thinking why. Everybody think why. And to anybody out there that has made currency units due to some direction that we might have pointed you in, we don't get credit for that either. Why? Because you guys did the actual effort. If you took the time to learn and you took the time to make an investment and it paid off, you don't owe us any kudos for that either. Guess what? We're doing the same goddamn thing. You think I'm here because I love YouTube? No, YouTube is a dumpster fire. We do this because it gives us a pulse of how people are thinking, where everyone's brain's at. It helps us be better investors. It also holds our toes to the fire, makes us more consistent, makes us pay attention to markets and news and macro and micro, all the kind of stuff that other people don't think matters. You cannot be a successful anything if you're too myopic in your thinking. So, yeah, man. No, see, the thing is, Howard, if I extend my help to somebody, I don't expect anything in return. I'm not asking for anything. But, man, you pick up a B in kindness and find out the very limits of kindness, right? So I would urge everyone as we move forward, focus on learning. That's what digital investor and to an extent digital private client is. learn why you're supposed to do what you do, then you won't be reliant on anyone, and you can kind of take your information from all these different sources. Some of it's noise, some of it's not. You can make your own decisions, but you can't make your own decisions if you're just parroting out whatever somebody else said and you're not thinking it through. Think about thinking. Think about thinking. All data matters. Yeah, see, that's the key. That's kind of the key for today. I think you just won YouTube today. All right. So let's simplify the concept of time series data. You're going to hear this coming up more and more, especially in the AI space. It's going to be something that it's going to be a phrase a term that you're going to see a lot. So imagine you're taking a photo of like in your backyard, if you have a backyard, like your favorite tree, and you're taking a photo at the same time every day, right? So over a year, you have a collection of 365 pictures of your tree. If you line up these photos in order, right, the order that you took them, 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then you can see how the tree is changing day by day. Now, in the beginning, let's say you start in the spring, it's full of leaves and it's green. And then what happens is the fall approaches, the colors change, the leaves fall off, and later new tree leaves grow back. So you see this whole time series, right? So instead of pictures, imagine you were writing down the height of the tree every day. After a year, you'd have a list of 365 numbers showing the tree's height changed day by day. That list of numbers, that is an example of time series data. Those pictures converted into data, just strict information about perhaps the color changes. That is time series data, as long as it's got a timestamp. So in time series data, we collect information about something at regular time intervals. It's like taking a snapshot of a particular thing or detail at consistent moments in time. So like in the tree example, but instead using the height, it can be anything. It could be the temperature each day. It could be the number of burgers sold at the local restaurant every hour, how many steps you walked to go to your computer to turn on Digital Investor and listen to me squawk like an asshole for 30 minutes. Yeah, it can be any of those things. So why is this useful? Well, by looking at how things change over time, we can start to derive patterns, and which this is important. So maybe you see that every spring the tree grows a little bit taller, or perhaps the restaurant sells the most burgers right around 5:36 p.m. or whatever. So by understanding these patterns, we can make better decisions and predictions about the future. And the more of these time series data samples and strings that we have, the more we can throw them together. So in short, time series data is like a diary of specific details noted at regular time intervals, and it helps us see, it helps us see how things change, and we can find patterns. AI is really good at finding patterns. So time series data has played a pivotal role in this kind of AI revolution that we're in, impacting several industries and applications. At its core, time series data is a sequence of data points, right? Makes sense. Typically consisting of successive measurements made over some time interval, and consistent. So these data points are indexed in time order, making them like a temporal sequence, and trends, right? And you can start seeing these trends. But obviously the sequence is important. So we can kind of look at the role of time series data in the AI revolution. So data is a big, giant, fat, nebulous term. There's a lot going on. So when you look at, forecasting and predictive analysis, and then so you're thinking, okay, finance, stock market, weather forecasting, supply chain, especially think of all the dumbness of all the stupidity that occurred during COVID, the over ordering by by supply managers and office managers, order, empty shelves. All of a sudden, all the buying's done, but all the products start coming in that you over ordered. Now, discount, send back, free, right? So AI models utilize time series data to forecast stock prices, to detect anomalies in behavior, to provide investment recommendations. And again, still backwards facing, but the more the merrier, right? Weather forecasting. Time series models predict weather conditions based on past patterns. Now, there are a bunch of particle interactions that occur in a weather system, like so many. And so weather forecasting is pretty tricky. However, AI is going to get better and better at piercing that data and making those connections and being able to have greater predictability in all of those multiple transactions, right? I mean, you can look at all those little particle interactions as little transactions of data. And then back to the supply chain case for like the supply chain manager, forecasting demand or inventory levels ensures optimal stock and reduces your overhead costs, like holding stuff you don't have, turning down orders you can't fulfill, things like this. And a lot of supply managers probably should have some basic education in economics. Anyway, detecting anomalies. So the industrial Internet of Things. In manufacturing, sensors collect a bunch of time series data, and AI models can detect anomalies in equipment behavior to predict maintenance and prevent breakdowns. Basically, like, you know, every now and then you'll get like an email from the from your car company, and they'll say, "Hey, it's time to kind of bring that car in and let us check the brakes." Why? Because one, they want to make money, but two, they know that in about 3 or 4 weeks, statistically, because of time series data, your brakes are probably going to start squeaking. All right. Unless, by the way, for those of you that have carbon ceramic brakes, for anybody that drives exotics, they're supposed to squeak. If you have ceramic brakes and they don't squeak, the brakes might be glazed. So just keep that in mind. That was a little. Okay. Cybersecurity. Detecting unusual patterns in network traffic can signal security breaches. And you would want to keep your breaches on. No, you would want to alert the necessary entities that you may have a security breach. Why? Because you're looking at unusual patterns in network traffic, the DDoS attacks and things like that. All right, great. Healthcare. So you think, well, healthcare, what would it? Yeah, obviously, patient monitoring. Beep, beep. It might be important to pay attention to that little beeping thing that's keeping grandma alive. Anyway, you have wearable devices. You have hospital monitoring equipment, and these all produce time series data. And so you can use that data to detect irregularities in heartbeats, blood glucose, oxygen levels, all your vital signs, right? You're going to see a lot of this kind of stuff, I think, flourishing via Rejuve and what they're doing. Okay, epidemiology, tracking and predicting the spread of disease and virus over time. Yes, patterns are quite important in such. Energy, smart grid management and renewable energy are the two ways. I mean, the two obvious. So smart grid management, time series data helps to optimize energy consumption, and it predicts equipment failures. Like you look at the energy industry and that huge infrastructure of, look up and see all the wires all over the place and the transformers and all this kind of stuff. It's a big giant system. And so managing that grid, you can use time series data to help optimize energy consumption, predict the failures in equipment, understand consumption patterns, and when you can start channeling energy one direction or the other, how those patterns change as people go electric, and then there's more intensity and pull from the grid in the times at night when typically there wouldn't be, and all that. So anyway, great. Renewable energy, predicting energy production from sources like wind and solar-based facilities is an important factor, because then as the company providing the energy, you go, okay, we have all this green energy. We basically know what we can expect, and we can push this out over the network. So that's important. E-commerce and retail. And I know a lot of this should sound quite redundant. Like this should be obvious, but it's not so obvious to everyone how important and how many kind of markets and industries this touches. So every time analysis, every time a robot or a big system, we shouldn't call them robots. Every time a big system can look at time series data and step back, not as a human looking perhaps at little things, but looking at big giant trends in real time. Now you can help forecast sales. You can optimize pricing strategies like we just did at Hypercycle with the node licenses. You can manage inventory. Think about natural language processing, NLP. No, not the one, not neurolinguistic programming, those things that teach you how to like always win on a first date. No, not that NLP, the other NLP, the actual classy one. Natural language processing. So in some natural language processing tasks, especially those that deal with speech recognition or like understanding the context of a conversation over time, data is essentially a time series, right? Think about the conversation you have with GPT or with Claude. I typically, when I think through things at first, I'll have Claude 2 and GPT-4 both open, and I'll communicate back and forth with both of them, and they're both doing time series analysis on the conversations that we're having, and I'm kind of like in the middle. Anyway, it's kind of cool. Reinforcement learning. Many reinforcement learning tasks, especially in robots or games, involve time series data as the various agents interact over a period. You're going to be seeing a lot of really interesting reinforcement learning coming out of Sophiaverse, which could be quite exciting. Also, Twin Protocol, I think, is going to have a lot to say about that. Advances in deep learning, recurrent neural networks, RNNs, and long short-term memory networks, LSTMs, are specifically designed to handle sequences, making them perfect for time series data collection. Cool. Can you share Claude 2 address? No, Charlene, but you can just go look up Claude 2. You've already spelled it correctly. Okay. Advances in deep learning, again, those are the RNNs, the LSTMs, and you can go dig into any of these things if you want. I don't think you need to. I think you just want to understand like the kind of gross overall picture. Urban planning, smart cities. I know someone right now, my girlfriend is actually part of urban planning. She, anyway, I don't want to talk about her business, but it's really cool what they're doing, preparing for the Olympics here in Los Angeles. There's a lot that goes into the kind of pre urban planning, the smart citying, monitoring traffic patterns, energy consumption, sculptures, and like fixed like furniture that's also artwork, that's also like helps steer people in different directions and create a safe environment, all this kind of cool stuff. Like a lot of really cool stuff. Air quality monitoring over time. The distribution of trash and litter and clutter, smart city planning, optimizing traffic patterns. You know, you start realizing like, oh crap, AI's got a lot of work to do. Yes. Agriculture, using time series data for soil quality, weather patterns, crop growth, to predict optimal harvest times or forecast crop yields. Research, academia. Time series analysis is crucial for various research areas, from economics to climate change to, and what do we do? You're using time series data on your own as a human, just every time you're using game theory and applying the understanding of cognitive bias against that. So time series data is fundamental in a bunch of different applications where understanding trends and patterns and making predictions over time are crucial. This AI revolution thing is not going away, right? And so you think, okay, everybody's looking at AI. What's this next commodity? And I think the next commodity is data. So kind of piercing just the word data and starting to really think about it, I think is going to help you. It's going to help you harness the potential of the various kind of streams and torrents of data, understand as an investor, or at least as a participant, the potential of that data, and then driving efficiencies and innovations across these and many other sectors. I hope that kind of makes sense. Yeah. So there is that. All right. Let me make sure. You just bought Hypercycle nodes. What do you do next? Right now, you don't do anything. You will wait for days or a few weeks. You will eventually pair them with tokens if you want to, or you can lend them, pledge them to Hyperpool, potentially HyperPG. There's going to be all sorts of things you'll be able to do with those nodes. But right now, what I would do, CeeLo, is I would say, if you're saying you just you just bought them. What do you do next? I would go and read the Hypercycle white paper. And if you don't want to read it, cool. Open up Claude 2, take the Hypercycle white paper, put it in the context window, the entire goddamn thing, and then communicate with it. Talk to it. Ask it questions. Pretty badass. Everybody here should be leveraging AI all the time for everything. If you're not, there's probably also all sorts of tasks that you could be doing much easier that you're not doing. And that makes you less efficient as a person, gives you less free time. The more you leverage AI, guess what? You can do the same amount of work and have more free time, or you can just do more work. I like the idea of doing more work. Okay. You don't have to fill all. Okay, listen, all of the nodes, just so everyone knows, all of those node licenses in the coming weeks are going to be splittable into individual units. You can split them all down. You will have a DApp where you link, and this is all software that's going to be being developed and will be released by Hypercycle that will allow you to just go from your MetaMask, break your node bundles into individual nodes, put one here, one there, marry tokens into one. You'll be able to do all of it. You'll have complete autonomy and control over your nodes, your node licenses, and your tokens. But they're plumbing all that. Remember, we're 4 months and a few days into an 18-month roadmap that Tufi just told you yesterday they may be able to cut in half. I think that is a fair amount of badassery. Anyway, stay in school. Don't do, you can do whatever the hell you want. Do drugs. Be like my grandmother, poor insolvent drunk, strung on meth grandmother, or don't. We'll see you tomorrow. For those of you that, again, we do have an announcement having to do kind of a cool thing. I don't want to say anymore. I've said too much already. We will talk about it tomorrow morning at Digital Investor. Brandon will be with us. Brandon's busy, like, doing all the super stuff that he does, but he will be back with us tomorrow morning, and we will rock and roll. Do no harm. That's the Hippocratic Oath, right? I agree to do no harm. I don't know, man. I think we can do. We can try to do no harm. That seems like a ridiculous oath. Do no investment harm. How about that?
Are you tired of all the uneducated noise you're getting from the droves of YOLO meme coin peddling douchebag gurus out there trying to use you as their exit liquidity? Would you rather learn a competent university-level set of skills that will guide you in managing and investing for the rest of your life? Join us 3 days a week at Digital Investor. Develop your knowledge of game theory, cognitive bias, macroeconomics, monetary theory, investment theory, psychology of the crowds, and more. For more info on Digital Investor and how it can help you, reach out at nickblacknext.com.